Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday, and welcome to the show. Um, tonight's going to be a fun show. I've been looking forward to this all week. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I'm going to have a good friend of mine on tonight, um, who's a urban explorer. We've done some pretty cool urban exploring together. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll just wait for a few minutes and then I'll bring them on. Let's make sure everything's going good here. Yeah, everything looks good. Uh, so far, so good. Everything looks good. So, uh, yeah, so like I said, we've done a lot of urban exploring together. We've hit a lot of crazy sites. So, a lot of abandoned locations, some haunted, some not. But most of the ones that I went on with him were all haunted locations, except one. Um, I was a little haunted by something that happened, and we'll talk a little bit about it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that's something that I know for sure we will talk about. We'll talk about a couple of other places that we went to that were pretty haunted and had some crazy experience that happened. Um, Glad that he was there with me when this happened. So, um, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm really excited for this show. Been looking forward to having him on for a while. So, yeah, it's just crazy. I'm gonna try to refrain from cussing. There's because when we get together, when I'm with a few people, I just start cussing and things. So, it just that's just me. But hey Karen, how you doing? Well, that's always a fun time to watch anyway. So, you know, I won't say it. Um, what's up, Order? How you doing, man? I've been watching some of your videos lately. Dude, you just bring back old some old memories all the time. Dude, I always have to go back and watch your videos. um anyway, so I guess we'll just what's up, Amy? Yeah, it's freaking hot. We're just talking about that. Um yeah, Riley. I got to just start, dude. I got to bring you on sometime. We could just reminisce and talk about what you've been doing and things like that. So yeah, we got to get caught up. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring our guest on. Um, so let me go ahead and introduce Sober Urban Explorer. So let me go ahead and bring him on now. It's, yep, it's the damn, I forgot what now I totally botched it because I was gonna um I was gonna say something and I totally screwed it up.
You can do a retake, just take me off and bring me back.
I'm just a little lost for words. Anyway, yeah, here's my good friend, brother from another mother, Brian Sober. So Brian, what you been up to?
Actually trying to find places to explore, but it's kind of difficult right now, especially with these gas prices, to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working on a video for the borderline shooting. I'm working on like a 15, 20-minute little documentary on that.
Right. So we went to where there was a mass shooting. It was what, a year after it was like the anniversary for the Vegas shooting, right? And they were
Right.
having kind of a memorial. And on that night, there was a mass shooting from all of the sad thing was there's some of the survivors from the Vegas shooting that were actually there during this shooting. So it was kind of
One was
crazy.
killed.
What's that?
One of them was killed. He survived the Vegas shooting, but died in the Thousand Oaks borderline shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sad. John Stone said, "What up, Brian?"
Hey, John, that's a very good longtime friend. He's done some exploring with me too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good to see you on here, John. I mean, Brian, so I'm just going to call you So Bear. I'm calling you
Okay.
Brian. I never call you Brian. You know that.
Nope.
So, I mean, So Bear has been to some amazing places. I know he's been to the Nike Missile silo up near the valley. He's been to Spawn Ranch, been to Lincoln Heights Jail, Camarillo State Hospital, the borderline. Go ahead. So,
No, you go ahead.
so some of the locations. Talk about some of the locations that you've been to.
Let's see. Like you said, Spawn Ranch many times. I have a big interest in the Manson family because Spawn Ranch is about 2 miles from my house, or what's left of Spawn Ranch. And around there, there's also, we went Shorty Shade, the place where Shorty Shade was killed, murdered, and the burial site that took like 8 years for them for Clem to tell where it was. And there's like 2 other sites there, the Sadie Caves and Gypsy's Waterfall. I also was in Thailand and I went to the Ghost Bank. There wasn't too much to see, but it was pretty tricky getting in, and you don't want to mess with the police there.
Right. That's the thing about going to other countries. I know the UK, it's a little bit different. Some of the places in UK are they're pretty, nobody really messes with you. I mean, Riley could probably chime in on that, but I wasn't really hassled much when I was in the UK. So so Brian and I went, or so Aaron and I went to Spawn Ranch, and it was pretty insane. I mean, I mean, maybe that's not the choice of the the appropriate word to use going there, but it was very creepy. And there was a tree there that Charlie would throw his knife at, and there was a lot of, you saw all of the blade marks and things like that, and then the cave, and I guess the rock that said, what did the rock say? There was a rock there that
it actually said Manson, and it had an X on it. It's where he would sit and do his sermons. Someone carved the Manson part, but it was the rock he would sit and do his sermons, brainwashing to his family.
Right. Yeah, that was that whole area was really creepy.
It's got a weird feeling to it, to know you're walking on the same ground that these people walked on, and right. Part of Helter Skelter formed at Spawn Ranch, and you're there. It is a weird feeling.
Right.
Lori pays $5 for gas.
Wait, what?
Lori Gibbs, I pay $5 for gas. I'm paying almost six, like 5.65.
Yeah, it's about five. Well, yeah, it's about 565, 575 is about the average. Um, yeah. So, I mean, how long ago was it that we went to Spawn Ranch? That was what, 2 years ago. That was before, actually 2.5 years ago. That was before COVID. It was a summer,
That's right. That's right.
2018 or 19, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
you're right.
Um, yeah, that was crazy.
The first time I was there, it's just got a strange feel to it. I kind of feel like I'm being watched a little bit. I know that's a typical thing to say, but it has that feeling that you're not alone.
Most definitely. So, so just so in Spawn Ranch, just what, maybe a quarter mile away is
Yeah.
where Shorty was killed. You wanted to talk a little bit
Yeah.
about
Uh, let's see. Shorty Shea was a guy that came to California and he wanted to be an actor, and he worked on Spawn Ranch when there were still horses to ride for like kiddie horse rides. And Manson was an extreme racist, and Shorty had a black wife, and they didn't get along. And one day, Shorty Shea was ambushed by Manson and three other members, shoved into a car, beaten and stabbed to just a little as they went down the street. And down the street, on the down the road is a kind of a little wash tunnel, and they left him in there overnight. And from what I've read, they could hear screams back at Spawn Ranch. So the next morning, they killed him and then buried him and told nobody where he was until for like 8 years. Clem Grogan, who was arrested for an accessory to the Helter Skelter murders, got out of jail for telling them where he was buried. So if you kill someone, as long as you tell where a buried body is, you get out.
So we went to the spot where Shorty was buried. Well, we went to where he was killed, and then he was dragged up the hill and then buried just on basically on a hillside. So we found where he was buried and we did an EVP session, and that was kind of creepy. That was really eerie with what we were getting, the responses that we were getting.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, it was pretty messed up. But that was like one of the locations we went to. And then the second location we went to wasn't that Camarillo?
Yes. Yeah, the toy phone. Tell them about the toy phone.
No, you tell them this story. You tell the story about us
It, it,
going to Camarillo.
we were at Camarillo State Hospital, what's left of the original old buildings. And we entered, and when we came back, there was a toy phone in the middle of a floor. I mean, it was like it looked like it was spotlighted. It was not there before. And this is an old vintage toy, you know, the one with the happy face on it and the string that holds the receiver. But yeah, it wasn't there when we got there, and we were the only ones in the building.
So
that was freaky. Eric didn't want to take it home.
So what I did was I picked up the toy, put it in my backpack, and we made a return visit. Because I didn't have a ghost box on me. I don't think at that time. I didn't take much equipment because we're just basically urban exploring. We didn't really have anything.
Right.
So the second time we went back prepared, and so I took the toy back and we set it up right where we found it, and we did a ghost box session. And the ghost box session was really weird.
A lot of names came up.
A lot of names came up. A nurse came up, and I think the little boy came through too.
If I remember right, yeah.
And I know that you posted that video up on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
So, and then our next adventure We went out to Pasadena. And was it Pasadena? Um, Estate?
Devil's Dam.
No, that was later. The estate.
Oh, okay. What? Which one?
The estate where the cave
Remind
was.
me.
Where
Geez. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Cobb Estate.
the Cobb Estate. So we go out to the Cobb Estate, and so Bear tells me, so hey, we're gonna go on a little hike. It's a little hike. Um, so we have to go along, a cliffside, and we didn't know how far back it was. It looked maybe a mile and a half,
Or where
maybe.
we were really going.
Yeah, or where we're really going. So on the map, it looked about a mile and a half. So we're on this long hike. It's along a freaking cliffside. I mean, the cliff drops straight down. So we're walking along this little trail, and we're walking and walking. And then it's like, I don't know how in the hell my fat ass got through that. But anyway, at that time,
You were doing better than me. You were like,
I was so out of shape and so overweight. Anyway, so we get like, I don't know how far back it was, and we're just like exhausted. We're like, damn, how much further do we have to go? So we sat there and we rested. We drank some water. We kept on going. And then we get to like this, it kind of took a right turn, the canyon did. And then we're like, damn, how much further back? So I know you took a break and then I took off. I said, let me just take a little walk. So I go walking, walking, walking. I said, oh, I found it. So, and I'm yelling at him through this canyon, and he's walking towards me and he's like, damn, how far back did you go? And finally he gets to me and we take another break. But it was really
the
cool.
heat was going up and it got hot that day too.
So we get to this, we're resting there, and then it was really cool because it was a female deer in her I guess little fawn was next to her, and they just were staring at me like, is he going to do anything? So I just stood really still, and we're watching these two deer just walk off, and it was really cool. Then we went into the cave. That cave was just amazing. And what did they do there? Did they do mining or something in there?
It
So
was mining.
okay. So we go in
Yeah,
this
I
cave.
remember I got like 4 injuries on my head going because I didn't have my flashlight. So when I walked in, the cave was the ceiling comes down, and it's all like, and yeah, that's in the video.
Yeah, so the cave was maybe 4 foot tall. I mean, it was maybe 4 foot high. So you had
That's in
to,
the beginning.
and so Bear is a really tall guy. I mean, I'm 5'10", and I know you're what, maybe 6 foot.
Close.
Yeah. So yeah, when then we're like, there's no way we're going in there. We weren't even prepared because we didn't know what it was going to be like on the inside. So there was a lot of water. And so we're like, damn, we can't go in there because we didn't know how deep it was, and we didn't bring a change of clothes or anything. So, but it was really cool.
Yeah, I remember right before we found it, I was taking a break. I'm going, I give up. I'm quitting. I'm quitting. I've had enough. It was a brutal hike that day because when we started, it was maybe 80 degrees, but I think it did hit 101 that day, and it was a brutal hike.
Yeah.
And Rob just kept going, "Come on, get up, let's go, come on, come on." So yeah, if it wasn't for Rob, I wouldn't have seen that. And I actually did go back with shorts and some boat shoes yeah, and did a video there. It's very cool inside. The ceiling rises up as you walk in.
But we didn't see that because I mean we were exhausted. It ended up being maybe a 5 mile hike.
Yep.
We thought, oh, it's only a mile and a half, maybe. Oh no, it was a 5 mile hike.
We took some wrong turns because when I went back, I did it in like 35 or 40 minutes.
And it took us maybe 2.5.
2 hours, yeah, 2.5. I remember we were hating it by the time we got back to your car. Oh
Oh,
man,
it was so bad. It was so bad. But so another cool location that I know you've been to Lincoln Heights Jail.
yes,
Uh, so our guest tonight is Sober. He's a he's an urban explorer, really good friend of mine.
yes.
So we do a lot of urban exploring together. He's actually the one that got me into urban exploring, really.
You know, the one place that was really interesting was that that abandoned building in downtown LA, off of Skid Row. I mean, it actually wasn't even Skid Row. It was where people from Skid Row go to when there's no more room.
Well,
And that was
big-
sketch.
it's actually the beginning of South Central
Okay.
because the 10 freeway from downtown LA from Skid Row, once you go underneath that bridge, now you're in South Central. So
That was, I was totally, I went there before I took you, and I have a taser stick for such such occasions. And I was I didn't stay long because it was just, I saw in that area we were at where that car was, I saw drug deals going down. There was gangbangers, and that neighborhood was sketchy. Just
well, the color of your skin, yeah, you should not be there.
yeah, some guy was yelling out the window at me when I'm leaving. And the worst part was, you remember the burned out bus?
Yeah.
When I went there the first time, I stepped in a huge pile of human duty. It wasn't pleasant.
So, okay, so let me set this up for us. So we're driving down this road. I forget which street it is in LA. We're driving down this road and I kept on because he said, "Oh, it's like a 10-story building, something like that, maybe 12-story building." So I
Yeah.
see the building and I said, "Don't tell me that's it." He said, "Nope, that's not it." And I'm like, "Okay." So we kept on driving and then he was like, "There it is." And I was like, "Oh my God, you got to be effing kidding me. We're going in there?" And he's like, "Yep." So we park, we're walking in, and I think a couple of black guys said, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Oh, you guys filming?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then he's like,
I
"Oh,
think
okay."
they were filming something there too, across the alley there.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. So we
Okay.
were walking up and we're looking, and this building's literally on fire. I mean, it's smoldering. There's smoke billowing out from a door, and we're like, "Oh my
Somebody
God."
had it right in.
So we're like, crap, this building's on fire. And so we walk around the side and where the black guys were talking to us, they went into this warehouse. This warehouse was literally right across the street from the building we're going into. And everybody's like looking at us like, what are these guys doing? And they see us walking back. And we look in and they're freaking shooting a porn. It's a porn set. Inside this So you see all the wardrobe. There's all these girls hanging out, driving in really nice cars, and they have security and stuff. So we're like, all right, whatever. So we just kept on going. Let's mind our own business. Let's just go. So we go into the building, or we go to the back of the building, and there's these burnt out cars. There's burnt out buses, two burnt out buses.
City
And,
buses.
yeah, city buses, burnt out city buses. And then I was like, are you kidding me? This is where we're going. And he's like, yep. So we go take pictures of the buses and they're like in this big warehouse, burnt out warehouse. So we're walking and I was looking up and I was like, man, this roof's gonna collapse on us. So we kept on walking and he's like, all right, let's go in. So we're getting ready to walk into the building and he picks up a cardboard. It looked like it was a practice that you'd use
Target
like
practice
target practice.
for a
Um,
gun.
Yeah, so he picks up this big piece of cardboard and it's all shot out. And we're like, oh shit, really? This is where
Fairly accurately too.
yeah, it was all like the whole center was all shot out. And so we go into this building and we're walking up. We're walking up the stairs. Smoke is actually billowing down a little bit, and there's rats running down the stairs. And we're like,
Rats.
yeah, big rats. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's freaking rats walking on both sides of us as we're going up the stairs. So we walk up in the building, and it smells like smoke, but there's no smoke anywhere. So we're walking around upstairs. Yeah, here comes the funny part. So I'm like, there's got to be a way up to the roof. We got to go up to the upper floors. We're like up on the second floor, maybe
Right.
second floor. So we're up on the second floor, and I see a door, and it said no roof access. Keep out. So I'm like, hey, there's a door to the roof access. There it is right there. There's our door to the roof. And it said no roof access, keep out. So I'm like, I go over to the door, turn it, and I was like, well, it seems locked. And I pull on it and it freaking pops open. As it opens up, there's a guy standing there naked, and he turns around, looks at me, and he's pulling up his pants. And then I said, oh, sorry about that. And I shut the door. And I said, dude, there's a guy in there. And then Brian's like, get out, hurry. So we just turn around, do an about face, and start heading out out. And he's like, dude, the guy's following us. Hurry. And so now we're like hauling ass down the stairs. And we get out of the building, and he's like, dude, we're gonna get shot. He said, let's go. Let's just
He was yelling, "Get out of my house! Get out of my house!"
I didn't hear that. I was just like hauling ass. We're hauling ass out of the building, and then we finally like look at each other, look back to make sure he's not following us, or isn't chasing us out with a gun. And at that time when we're upstairs, we heard a fire truck, and then we're like, oh crap, the firemen. So the firemen are coming to put out this fire. When I opened up the door, it was full of smoke. That was another thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why that guy was standing or in there naked with a freaking fire going on. Anyway, so we leave, and we get to where the porn shoot is, and we're standing there. I started talking to some of the people there. Anyway, so we get out of there and we stop in front of the building, and so Bear turns at me and he said, dude, sorry it wasn't as crazy as last time. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was terrified when I was there by myself. That's it. I have that video up. I seriously was just, you can see my eyes are dilated with fear and adrenaline's pumping.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh, you know, after we left, I had turned my phone off, the volume, and I had that, what's that app that tells you about crime in your area? I don't know. There's an app that tells you about the crime nearby. And I had the volume down. Well, when I turned the volume back up, there's like 6 notifications. One of them was a stabbing half a mile from where we were. There was a lot just right in that area. That's probably where the police were going.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. So crazy. Yeah, but it was kind of funny. He'll never let me down with that moment of opening up that door. And when I opened it, he was like, what the
Sorry. Fuck? You can kind of hear the Fred Flintstone feet as we left the building, went down the stairs.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Yeah, and then so I'm running down the stairs, and rats are like running down on the side of me, and I was like, it's freaking rats. There's rats everywhere. They're like the size of kittens.
Yeah. That was the sketchiest location I've ever been to, and I've been some places, but that one, I mean, when you park your car, you're worried it's not going to be there when you get back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I parked
And
in
the thing
front of
is,
people, and I was
there's,
worried about
there's
my
a
car the whole
school
time.
right next to that is a school,
Yeah,
an elementary school. That building's burned probably 5 times.
yeah, and when we walked out, I mean, it was still smoking. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see that building go up in flames.
When I went into the room where that smoke was, there was a guy. I couldn't see him the first time. And the second time in, there was a guy sleeping in the corner. And then he stirred. I said, "Man, your room's on fire." Oh. And he went over and he just like patted this thing. No big deal. Yeah, it's all right. Happens all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what other locations? I know that you've been in Lincoln Heights Jail also, because I mean I've I tried to get Brian in there too a few times, but I it's just now that it's condemned. I mean, you went in shortly after it was condemned, right?
Yeah, that one door that we talked about was open, and got in there. And what floor were we talking about? Third floor with all the birds stuff.
That's the third floor. The third floor is about yeah. Go ahead.
This of bird feces. I'm not exaggerating, because the windows are broken. The birds get in, but they don't know how to get out. So there's bird carcasses and yeah, bird doo doo everywhere. And but then I got up to the roof, and I guess that's where Lady Gaga made a video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the video because I'm not a Gaga fan. So
Yeah. So she shot. So I was called the day that she was going to be there. And they asked me if I wanted to go down, just so I can, because the property manager at that time, she called me up and said, "Hey, Rob, Lady Gaga is going to be here. If you want to come down and watch them do some of the video shoot, you're more than welcome. Just don't bring any." I would have to go by myself. And I told her no, because I had an investigation the day after. So yeah, she shot up in the men's where they had some of the holding cells, where some of the main cells were on the second floor. But yeah, the third floor was bad. The fourth floor, fifth floor was really cool. There was a gym up on the fifth floor.
I did see that. I saw that.
Yeah. So what happened was so there was a boxing trainer who ran the gym on the fifth floor. So he was closing up the gym, and when he walked, so he pushed the door for the elevator to come in, and the doors opened up, and he stepped in, but the elevator was stuck between the roof and the fifth floor. So when he stepped in, he hit his head on the elevator and fell to his demise. He fell down to the basement from the fifth floor to the basement of the building. So in that whole area where he passed, it's pretty creepy. We got some amazing EVPs there.
Hey, you haven't brought it up. Oh, I remember 2 places now. When we went to Devil's Gate Dam. Remember how we had to get down?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just this ladder, like on the side of the hill, the kind of ladders that's got to surround a cage to it, but it wasn't safe. The thing was rickety, and I have a fear of heights, but we made it down there.
So there's another way to get down to Devil's Gate. So Devil's Gate, tell them the story behind Devil's Gate.
Go ahead. Go ahead on that one. I know it was a long
Alistair,
time ago. Oh, okay. There's a room. It was supposed to be a place where people practice Satanism, like the elite, and also it was known as a serial killer's child. He would kill children and dispose the bodies. Some of the bodies were found there.
right. So Alistair Caroli and Jack Parsons used to do rituals there. There at Devil's Gate. They supposedly did a ritual to summon a demon there. There's a pretty big story about it. That's one of the things that happened, but also the serial killer now, bringing up the serial killer that would dispose of some of the bodies. There was a little boy that was killed. So Bear and we walked in, and I took a couple of my ghost boxes, and when you went into the tunnel of Devil's Gate, there's a big tunnel, and it's all stone, because it's on the side of a mountain. So anyway, you walk in, and we're all the way in the back, where the damn doors are. I know that sounds funny, but so where it drops down, where it holds down the water, and then they'll lift up that gate, and then all the water will come out of that gate and then into the reservoir. We're all the way in the back where the doors were. I turn around, and we're doing a ghost box session. We turn around, and I'm watching the shadow on the wall, and it's kind of moving.
I remember that.
So we see the shadow moving on the wall, and we're like, okay, let me ask you something. How in the hell can a shadow be casted from where we are when the light is on outside of the tunnel and it's coming in? It would be behind us, not in front of us.
Right.
The shadow is being casted out towards the light, not away from the light, if that makes sense. So I turn around and look back, and I said, look at my shadow. My shadow's behind me. How can a shadow be casted the other way? There's no light. So I start taking pictures, and then I said, hey, take a look. And I show Bear my camera, and he said, dude, that looks like a little boy. It's the same height as a little boy. You can see his head, you can see his shoulders. And I said, but how's the shadow? I said, no, I see that, but how is the shadow being casted the other way? I don't get it. So I'm trying to debunk it the whole time as we're watching that. I'm not even paying attention to the little shadow person that we're seeing. I'm paying more of attention to how is that even possible? Anyway, that was kind of weird.
Do you remember the two there were like two young tourists that had come to see Devil's Gate Dam the same day we did? Yeah. And they said they were scared to go in. So right. Rob and I go in, and we get past where you can actually see us in there. And I just went, ah! And they were gone when we got back.
Yeah, they ran.
What about Janis Joplin room, man?
No, you tell them about Janis Joplin.
Okay, so we went to this hotel in Los Angeles, and it was the room that Janis Joplin OD'd in and died. There's a lot of graffiti on the wall for her. It's actually allowed. The whole, there's a little back room, and it's just covered from top to bottom, kind of like if you go to the Jim Morrison room in Los Angeles. That one's more extreme. Anyway, so we're in there, and I'm making my video, and Rob's doing his thing, and I walk into the kitchen, and it was like, bam, this I don't know how to, if you're going to call it energy or presence or something, just hit me, and it was thick, and it wasn't intimidating or scary or anything. It was just there, kind of like maybe someone forgot to leave. And when Rob and I get together, I'm not, Rob's got his thing, he's doing his, and I'm making mine. But there was no ignoring it. It was that strong.
And you're not really into the paranormal. That's the whole thing. You invite me to these places because you're like, "Hey, Rob, you want to go here because you know that something happened. So there's got to be some paranormal events that might happen." So that's how we get
Right.
together. So he's the urban explorer. I'm the paranormal investigator. So he's, but that the two things, that's why I always tell people the best places to investigate are places that never have been investigated. And those places are what urban explorers hit. Urban explorers will run into paranormal activity when they least expect it because they're not there for that. And when Brian invited me to go to the Janis Joplin room, I'm like, yeah, let's go check it out. And then he walks into the kitchen and gets slammed with energy. So he's like, Rob, come here. So he calls me. I go over there and he's like, we got to do something. So we start doing a ghost box session. And yeah, we were getting actually, there was a lot of voices coming through. And somebody was like saying that we're welcome, that she said that she was glad that we were there. Um, she said that she's at peace. She was very
Everybody
happy.
was friendly.
Yeah, it was a really friendly ghost box session, and just with everything that was happening, we just got a lot of validation that she was still there in the room, and it was really cool.
Do you remember we almost didn't get in?
Yeah,
I called ahead of time, like the day before, and I spoke to someone because I didn't want to have to pay for it. I wanted to know if the room was available to view without paying. It's known as the Janis Joplin room, and it says that right on the door. So the receptionist lady said, "Yeah, it is, no problem. Come on in." So we go in, but there's a guy working the counter. No, we don't do that. No. Who did you speak to? Cindy? And I said, I was so looking forward to putting such a positive review on Yelp about how friendly you guys have been about this. And he goes, well, all right. And he walked us over to the door. He was cool. We were in there, 2 hours, something like that?
Something like that. And it's actually, it's in a hotel room. So,
yep.
And you have to be a guest to visit the room. So, but, so bear work is magic.
Lori, it's not the same hotel where Jimi Hendrix died or Jim Belushi. No, I don't know which one, but it's not the same one.
There's a Jim Morrison room there also, right? Is it Jim Morrison?
Yeah, we need to hit that.
Yeah.
That costs $20. Not a problem.
Right. So no, it's just some of the crazy adventures that we've been on.
And then let's see, we need to go back to the Prohibition Tunnels because we weren't able to get in there.
Right.
Yeah, they had it locked up pretty tight.
Yeah. So there's Prohibition Tunnels underneath underneath LA, and they're pretty long. They're actually a couple of miles long. They go underneath City Hall. They go underneath. There's a couple of what there used to be speakeasies. There's one bar, I forget what street it's on. It's on the corner. But actually their storeroom leads into a Prohibition Tunnel. And then there's another pretty famous restaurant, I'm not going to name any names, that also goes down into the tunnels. A lot of these big businesses were being used for the Prohibition times. It's kind of crazy. There's actually still a couple of speakeasies at a couple of the locations down in LA. And they're still set up that way. So you wouldn't know that they're even there. If you go into the restaurant, you'll just see people walking to the back and you're like, what's going on? And then they open up a door and there's like, yeah, it's a bar. But you have to make a reservation on some of them. So, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, John, I remember that now. Blew out 2 tires.
What's
that happened?
2 tires?
Yeah, my friend John's on here, and we were driving by somewhere where it was before Shorty Shay's body was found. We were driving around. Was it? No, it wasn't Shorty Shay's body. They were looking for bodies from the Simi Valley rapist, I think. And then as we drove down the street, I blew out 2 tires. It was just kind of weird.
That's
Weird time. I'll be doing a little documentary on that Simi Valley rapist guy too.
Yeah. Lori, no, it's not the chateau. I don't. Yeah, I really don't want to say which hotel it is.
You can find out if you want. It's pretty easy to find out.
Yeah, I just didn't want. I just don't want to say, some locations. Sorry. You can ask offline. I just don't want to say it online.
I want to go back to the Camarillo Mental Hospital. That children's ward, there's something wrong there. There's something wrong there. I just, even the first time I went by myself, it's negative. It's just, nope. I have a video of that too, but it just felt wrong. And then I went down the hallway building, and I was down by the theater area, and I walked into this cold spot, and I swore my head swirled, and I felt nauseous until I was out of that cold spot. I've never had that happen before, and that child's, like I said, that area, there's something really wrong in that place.
Yeah, no, it's Camarillo State Hospital is, well, now it's a university, so but the children's ward is also, there's also a male's ward and a female ward. They're all part of the same kind of wing. Well, they're separated wings, but they're all in the same building, pretty much. All the buildings interconnect. It's almost like a big square, and then in the center is just a big courtyard. It's just really weird on how they're set up. But then also over where the courtyard is, or the courtroom, that's where the criminally insane were. That's where they were held. But that has a lot of really bad negative energy.
It's thick with it. I did a little research on it, and they were, and people have written me. If you find the video on my channel, they've commented that they had, when this is people that actually stayed there. They were sexually molested, beaten. They were trying out new drug combos, things like that. It was not a good place at the time, and I think all of that is residue there. You can feel it.
Yeah, Mackie Ray Edwards.
Yeah, he was the guy. He was the Devil's Gate Dam child serial killer.
Okay. Yeah, that was sad. I mean, and when we did pick up that little boy, and when I showed somebody some of the images, that's when they brought up Mac Ray Edwards, and they said, "Oh yeah, that was the little boy that was killed there." And other people have seen him. They've actually heard him whimpering in the tunnel. People have actually heard that. So there's a lot of validation that we did get. So, and when I do some things, I don't do research on. I don't want to know research on everything. Like, I might know some urban legends on the location or whatever, but usually I'll wait till after I investigate before I start digging. Kind of like what you did with the Borderline. Now that we went there, we did do a ghost box session there. Now you're doing a lot of the research. I'm really looking forward to your documentary that's coming out that you're doing on that, because there's so
It's
many.
going to take me a little bit.
But that's the thing. Like, so, so Bear and I were talking the other day, and it's funny how he is so thorough and pulls up evidence and records that nobody else posts. And for somebody to do that, like what you do, so Bear, so Bear, it's like, because anybody can just copy and paste. You know what I mean? Everybody can pull up the same evidence and or the same story and rewrite the story. But for you or somebody like you to rewrite the story, post things that nobody else knows, nobody else has even heard of, that it makes your research even more compelling.
It just bothers me because, like, I'll use the Shorty Shea murder spot, for example. I've seen so many videos. Shorty Shea was murdered right there. And that's it. Who was
Right.
he? Who killed him? How was he murdered? As soon as they say he was killed by the Manson family, and that seems to be enough for people. But why was he killed? And when they go to Spawn Ranch, we're here at Spawn Ranch, and they give you no information. And I can tell they're regurgitating other people's what they said in their videos. So I do try to be thorough.
That's right. Yeah, John, his name is Tommy. Yeah, that's the little boy, Tommy. That's what somebody told me. They said, "Hey, Rob, that you got the picture of Tommy. You got a picture of Tommy." Yeah, now I remember that. So Tommy Bowman was the name of the little boy. He was abducted from a neighborhood not far from the dam, and that's who was killed. But yeah, it's just a lot of crazy stuff.
Do you remember this crackman when we were at Camarillo Hospital? There was someone else there with us. Came along.
Yeah.
I don't know if I won't say the name, but I mean, it's all in fun. But Rob took that toy phone that we mentioned about and put it in his backpack. So in the car, we kept saying, "Are you going to take the phone home with you?" He's like, "No, no, no." hey, the phone's for you. It's ringing.
No, he wouldn't have anything to do with that phone. Let's just put it that way. He did not. He didn't believe I was taking the phone.
He
But
didn't even stand next to it.
the phone was left there for a reason. I mean, that little boy because what happened was when we were, so there was three of us. It was Sober, myself, and Eric. So I was standing out in the hallway and I was just staring, and they were off doing their thing, and I'm just standing there, and they were like, "Rob, what are you looking at?" And I said, "Don't you see the little boy?" And they were like, "No." And I said, "Look over there." Then they were like, "Oh, yeah, I do see a shadow moving." So, but after a while, it was just gone. So we didn't pay any more attention to it. We just walked out. And when we walked out, we walked back in. And right where I was seeing that little boy, there was a toy phone. I was like, well, I'm going to take it because if I don't, somebody else will. So,
That's
and I
right.
said, we'll come back. We'll use it as a trigger object when we come back. So I put it in my backpack. We left. We went back 2 weeks later and did a ghost box session, and it was amazing. Hey, Nora, how you doing? But yeah, so where else are you going to try to hit? Any other locations that you're looking at?
Right
Possibly.
now, I'm working on borderline pretty much. I have some places I'd like to go, but at the moment, it's not possible because these gas prices. A lot of them are like 2-3 hours away, but I'll find something. It just takes a little time to find things.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I know it's really hard because for us to travel anywhere, just to LA and back, I mean, it's going to cost us $100, if not. I
Yeah,
mean, around $100 just to go somewhere. So it's just really not feasible.
I've been
Not
wanting to go to the Salton Sea, and that's close to a 4-hour drive each way. I can't afford it, not gas wise. No, that's it. I think 2 tanks of gas.
right. Yeah, Hold on
And
one
it gets
second.
hard to find places in Los Angeles because everything is either destroyed or you've been there, done that. I think I've covered Los Angeles pretty thoroughly. I've been all the way. I did go to Arizona too, but except for I need to head up towards San Francisco. That's where I need to go. That's an area I haven't explored yet.
Yeah, well, dude, that would be fun.
That would be.
Yeah, we definitely have to go.
That's an overnight one. That's an overnight. I've done it twice, and by the time you drive out there and then you spend the day exploring, and that they call it Salton Sea for a reason. There's a lot of salt. It's in your eyes, it's in your skin, and then you've got a 3 to 4 hour drive back. I've done it, but I shouldn't have because my vision was so blurred by the time I pulled into my driveway. I was just so tired.
Yeah. The other place that I need to take you to is Randsburg.
What is it? Yes, yes.
We'll go to Randsburg. There's a story about Randsburg. Other people have talked about it a little bit. Other people have been there, but there's kind of a hidden story behind that. And once we go there, because I don't want to say too much. I talked about it once before, but once we go there, I'll give you some some inside information you could do another documentary on it. And I I think it'll be pretty interesting.
Angelique's paying $3.49 for gas. That's our average price. We're almost at $6 on 87 grade.
Yeah, most places. Well, the cheapest that I found it is 565. The average price is about 575. And where Sobert is, I know it's higher. It's probably it's about 20 cents higher.
Yeah, and that's for 87.
Yeah.
If you don't go to gas stations at freeway off ramps.
No, you're gonna pay like $6.50.
Yeah, 30 to 50 cents more.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, what did you think? Rob and I met up because I told him I was doing the Borderline documentary. I had been there, and what did you think when you went there?
So when we went to the Borderline, it was very, very sad. So there at the Borderline, they have like a little memorial when you're walking up to the front doors. So there's a bunch of booths. It has a bunch of people's names. They have a big banner that people have signed. But when you walk up to the entrance to the doors, that's where an officer was killed. He was killed in the crossfire. So when we were there doing a ghost box session, I was overcome with sadness. There was a lot of sadness. I was trying to get some responses through the ghost box session or doing a ghost box session, and really there wasn't a lot coming through. It was more, I don't know if just spirit didn't want to talk through the ghost box, but I was getting a lot more of impressions. I was picking up psychic impressions more than anything. And maybe it was because of that. I couldn't really channel through the ghost box because normally I can focus and I could channel. My focus was totally off because my whole body was just becoming overrun with emotion.
Yep.
It was just a lot of sadness. But the funny thing is, I thought I was hearing things from the ghost box, but actually looking back at it after I left, after, Sobert and I went out and we were getting ready to leave, And I was sitting there. Maybe that's why because normally we'll sit there and we'll talk a while. I kind of left a little abruptly.
Yeah, you did.
And I think because I just wasn't feeling right. And I don't know what it was. My mind just wasn't right. So that's when I left. So I left. I had to go get something to drink. I said, you know what? Let me go get something salty. Because anytime, we get once we start dealing with a lot of spirit, a lot of energy, things like that, I, we always talk about eating something salty to try to make sure that nothing's going to attach to you, things like that. It's almost like just doing a cleansing. So I left. I did that. Once I left the 7-Eleven I just went to, I was just thinking about what I just experienced, and I'm like, was I actually hearing those voices coming through the ghost box? And I was like, I don't think so. I think it was more I was picking up impressions. And I think that that's when you said, "Rob, you didn't even ask anything about the shooter." And I said, "No, I didn't want to give him energy."
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't think that one. I didn't think that through.
yeah, and it was because there was so much emotion, there was so much sadness and emotion. I just couldn't really concentrate on the ghost box session. I couldn't really channel. I just was sitting there like listening to the ghost box, but my mind wasn't even focused on the ghost box. It was focused on the environment. If that makes any sense. It was weird. I've never been in a location like that where I couldn't really concentrate on what I really was there to do, if that makes sense.
Both times I've been there in the parking lot, I felt you like you said the sadness. Even bringing it up kind of gets me for some reason. But the closer I got to the building, I felt anxiety and terror, just terror. I pointed out to the windows that were, they're boarded up, and that's because people were throwing chairs and tables out those windows trying to get out. Uh, it just, I after you left, and I've done this both times I was there. I sat back by my car in the parking lot and just kind of reflected for a while. And the place is strange. It's got strange,
Well,
strange,
that's what I
strange.
had and that's what I ended up doing on the drive home. I was just in there reflecting back on what's going on. Yeah, and it's sad because, all the back windows, so it used to be a restaurant and then they converted it into a bar and grill. The way that
Western theme.
Yeah, so the way that it's set up, it's like multi-level. It's a single level, but it's multi-level, if that makes any sense. So it has sunken floors, and then like where the main bar area is a little bit higher. Then you go down a little bit, and there's tables, there's pool tables, and there's seating against the windows. So and they had a bunch of like what are they called? Um, what are those tables called? Um
You got me.
they're just like round tables, and then they have stools that sit around them. I forget what they're called. There's a name for them. Anyway, but people were picking up those tables and throwing them out the window to break the window so they can get out because the shooter was inside. And he barricaded himself in the office, and he was just shooting people with a revolver. Or an automatic weapon, pistol. Anyway, it's just so looking back and walking around the building and just knowing where all of that terror happened, it was just very, very eerie walking around the backside of the building.
And like I said, I'm in the middle of research, so there's some news footage and things like that, and there's pictures from when way before it happened, so you get to see the interior. I got to see the interior of the bar, but there are places now where I could peek through or stand up on a railing and look in there, and I got some photos. It's just creepy. I mean, there's no blood or gore or anything, but it's just I've read the police report, and it's step by step what happened. I can look in there and go, see it happening almost. And I'm just surprised it hasn't been torn down yet. It was supposed to be torn down the end of the end of February.
Right. So the reason why we went there was because we wanted to try to do a ghost box session before they tore down the location. So because like what Sobert said, it was supposed to be torn down the last week of February. So he called me and said, "Hey Rob, we need to get out there. You need to bring a ghost box before they tear it down." So we went out there 2 Saturdays ago, and that's what we did. So I'm almost it's kind of weird to say, but I mean, I'm glad that I went, but I almost regret it also because
I know it's
I haven't felt that sadness
yeah.
going to a location like that. Um, I'm glad I got to pay my respects, but in hindsight, I kind of regret going. Actually, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. Something I've never ever felt before, and something I thought I would never say.
It's for me, it was like I said there was kind of a heavy friendly feeling at Janis Joplin. This was the complete opposite. It's a weight. It's a weight, and it kind of, I don't know. It's almost like it seeps into you and you take home with you for a while. And I've got to go back and do more filming. But
Well, I mean, you're doing a documentary. I mean, you're doing, you're telling a story. You're doing a documentary on it. With me, it's like I'm just there to pay respects and try to communicate, but I just want to feel I felt like I just need to let them be. They've already been through enough, and I feel like I was just there to see if they had any messages for anybody. And obviously that they did, but they were just using my energy to try to communicate, and it was just something that made me feel a little overwhelmed because there was so much that they needed help with, and I felt like I just wasn't there doing what I needed to be doing. So that's why I said I feel like I regret going there because I went there with another intention, not with what I came back with. If that makes sense.
and if anybody's interested, it's the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks shooting that happened in 2018. You get plenty of information on the internet on YouTube.
So here's another fun fact about that. So the shooter, okay, the night of the shooting, the very next day, very next morning, or maybe it was even that same night, there was also a major fire that broke out here in California. It was called
The Woolsey Fire.
the what's that?
I think it was the Woolsey Fire.
Well, that was a Woolsey fire, and then there was the God, I can't think of it. Anyway, the same person that did the shooting supposedly started the fire. He had a device timer. He said had a device, and this was actually in a couple. How far is Santa Paula from there? About 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, somewhere around there. Um, yeah, it was yeah, it was that fire. Anyway, so there was a trailer park that he knew some people at, and I think he was there that day, the day of the shooting in the morning. He went to go visit some people. Then he left, went home, and then that night he went to do the that's when the event happened. But then that fire broke out. And there was a brief news report on it that he's the one that started the fire. Then they kind of just swept it under the table. You never heard about that again. Um, so it's kind of crazy. And that fire was like one of the biggest fires in California history.
Right. It's only recent. What was it? Recently, last couple of years, it was recently made second. We had the other one happen. I forgot what that was, but
Yeah, that was
basically
up
all
and
all
that
of California's on fire.
yeah, and that ended up being the biggest um next to this. So yeah, it's crazy. how one person created that much trauma in a short period of
In
time.
yeah, like 2 minutes 15 seconds. I think that's how long the shooting was. 2 minutes 15 seconds
Right.
before he killed himself.
Right.
Okay, I'm bummed now.
Yeah, sorry, this show kind of was, you know, it normally takes a left turn because of some of the crap that I say, and then
Yeah,
it kind of,
it's just, that's how strong the feeling was there, though.
yeah. But this is what, this is being part of being an investigator, and, with you, I mean, you do the thing about you, So Bear, is you do urban exploring, but you also, during that time, you also do documentaries on locations that you go to. You do a lot of research. You go to these locations many times. And that's what I tell people. You can't do something by going to a location one time and being there for a few hours. It's going to take you a lot of time to do research to, okay, well, okay, now you read something. Now I got to go back and I got to go check this out. And then you go back to the location, spend more time. Then you can start comparing your notes. Then you start putting things together. You start piecing all the puzzles together, the pieces of the puzzle together. Then it creates like a big picture for you. And it's like that whole process is just amazing.
Yeah, like I said, also, I hate, I watch urban exploration videos. I just hate when they go, there it is, we're here. You know, so what?
Right. And
Tell
then
us some history about it.
they walk around shooting video. That's what
Of
most
themselves.
do. Right. And that's what's so unique about you, So Bear, is you do so much, and not only are your videos funny, but they also have another side to them. I mean, you might put one out like just showing the location, me opening up a door, seeing a naked guy, us running out, shit like that. And then you put out another video that's really serious, and then it has some history behind it, and that's what's amazing.
I try to
Uh,
keep my videos really, kind of fun but factual. I'm not gonna do that thing. Hey, this is where we're going for breakfast, and I check out my hair as I'm introducing the video, and I hate those. I hate those, especially when they go, "Hi guys." That's just a pet peeve of mine.
you mean exploring with? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'm
With
just being
this
smart.
person, that person, and yeah.
I'm being a smart ass. Oh man. Oh yeah, and then just looking back at all your videos now, I'm just like, God damn, I was a fat ass.
I gotta exercise myself. This COVID thing got to me. I guess comfort eating, but
I think that's what it was. You know, I don't know. It's just funny.
no. But you were hauling ass when we went to the Cabo State, man. You like didn't stop me. I'm taking like 15 breaks or something. Rob just
Yeah.
kept going. Me at first, I thought, man, he just wants to get there and leave or something. He was
No,
like, "Yep, I made it. I'm gone."
the funny thing is yeah, I know I was heavy, but I was doing a lot of biking at that time. I mean, I was starting to lose weight, and it was funny because I was exercising and eating. I was eating or I was exercising to eat. Now, once I, turned everything around, and I said, you know what, I have to do something. To see myself on camera, I just couldn't do it anymore. And then me doing this all the time on camera, I just couldn't. Every time I'd watch a video, I couldn't watch it because of my weight, and that just got me motivated to lose weight. So here
It
we
was
are,
actually the
55.
Devil's Gate Dam video we did, and I was turned sideways. I'm like, I look pregnant. So I did lose some weight there for a while. I've been lax on the exercise. You got to get back into that bike riding. That's what I like doing.
Right. What do you mean I was filtered? What? You were filter in those videos?
Fitter.
What? Oh, fitter. No, I wasn't. No, I was. No, in those videos, I was at my heaviest, the heaviest I've ever been. Yeah, no, I was at in those videos. I was at 250 pounds. Now I'm down to 195.
Yeah, yeah, you were talking about my videos. I want to say something about yours. We have a similar style where we just kind of keep it basic, do what we're doing, and that's it. You know, I've tried watching some of these paranormal series on TV, and they're 100% fake. I know that I needed a camera that had a night vision on it, so I went to this pawn shop this a couple of years ago, and what's the big show? It was one of the first ones. You know, it's got that Zach guy. I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name, but anyway, so I go to this pawn shop and I said, "Yeah, you're holding a night vision camera for me." He goes, "Oh, are you doing ghost hunting?" And I said, "No, it's actually for urban exploration, and I need night vision." He said, "Oh, I worked on that show with such and such," and I stopped and I said, "How much of it's bullshit? Sorry." And he said, "I can't talk about that. I signed a waiver."
Oh my god, that's funny.
They always put a girl in a dark room and it's cold and I'm scared. Every episode, and their crew is always this young looking hip people that I don't know. I can't watch those. Can't.
Yeah. Oh my god, Deb, climbing that stupid ladder at Devil's Gate. Oh my god. Or yeah,
Devil's Dam.
Devil's Gate. Uh I should play the
We
video.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Did we actually?
I can actually share
it.
the video right now. We should just play one just so we can see.
Yeah, show it. And like I said, I'm terrified of heights, but I made it down. It took me a while, but I made
it. I could play a video. Hold on. See, I said
it. And I think at the beginning of those paranormal shows, doesn't, or somewhere at the end it says for entertainment purposes only. People seem to miss that part.
Probably. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys want to watch a video?
We got one yes, that's enough.
Warning. 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 Warning.
Let me make this full size.
Warning.
I haven't watched this yet.
Okay, you can skip up a little bit if you want to go to the ladder thing.
You guys want to watch the whole thing? I never seen this, so I'm kind of interested.
Okay, cool. By the way, this was music from my friend John Stone.
Hey, John, hit me up. I'll use some of your tracks on my show. Oh my God, Len, that's so funny.
We're rolling. Hey, creepy crawlers, it is I, So Bear, and once again I am joined with Mr. Rob Hernandez.
What's happening, creepy crawlers?
We are headed to the infamous Devil's Gate Dam, so let's go.
Now the creek bed that you went through.
Through a long tunnel we go.
Through all the when you went to the creek bed, did you see all those telephone poles?
Yes.
I guess they use that for training.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like firefighter training or something.
Here comes the fork in the road. Which way should we go?
Now we go down about 1,000,000 stairs. Definitely getting some cardio today. Oh, Lord.
Mr. Sober is not going to want to do this.
I'm not wanting to do this, but yeah.
We got to go down this thing. And I'm afraid of heights also. We're about 200 feet up, at least.
At least.
How slow I'm going. And there's nothing at the bottom. It's straight drop. I wonder why she said she was.
Yeah, you thought it would have been like a pinball machine until you hit the bottom.
Hey, there's a second ladder, and it's about twice as high and worse as the first. I don't even know if I can look over to film. But I will try. My knees are actually shaking.
Here comes Brian. He was shaking so bad going down. It was so that I'm laughing. So,
Yeah, there's a little slip right there.
all right, he's down, pretty much.
Okay, we made it down the steps, the ladder. Wasn't no stairs. So I'll show you where we started and where we are. That is the second ladder. Which is first and the worst. Worst and the first, that's what I'm trying to say. And there we have Devil's Gate Dam. Damn.
Sounds like there's people in it.
Oh well.
Oh, that was so much fun that day.
Yeah, it was.
It is nice and cool here, though.
You guys know all the tricks.
And we'll be going that way. Echo! I'll have to switch to fresh tags. All right, it's probably best if I switch cameras now.
All right, I want to pause it really quick. So anyway, see the way that our shadows are being casted. They're being casted towards the back of the tunnel because the light's behind us.
It's Mr. Hernandez. We're almost there.
So you see how our shadows are in the back of against the wall. No, there has been murders. So let me put this on pause really quick. Let me go back. Okay. Right here. So if you're looking at the angle on the right hand side is where we're seeing the shadow of the little boy, but the shadow was coming from where we were standing and being projected out towards the light against the wall on the right. So that's not even possible because the light is in front of us, not behind us. So that's what we're just like floored. We're like, how in the hell is that even possible? Anyway, this is why I wanted to show this angle because the light is coming from in front of us, but the shadows are being projected out towards the light, which was weird. Anyway, back to the show. Check this out. Looks like a shadowy person on that wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
That wasn't you.
No?
Uh-uh.
That's creepy.
Shooting that way.
Well,
You were behind me. Oh, you did get it.
boobs. That's the entrance way down there. Guess who was stupid and left their drink in the car? That'd be me. This is fun. All right, so we're headed out. I didn't fall on my butt. Okay. All right, Rob, I'm going to go up first this time.
All right. You're good.
We didn't go back up that. This is all played backwards.
We went anyway. We took a shortcut. All right, I'm ending that. Anyway, just one of our little antics. But I'm glad that you did add the shadow person on the video. That was kind of cool. But you saw how the shadow was being projected towards the light, not away from the light. That was just weird. I couldn't understand that.
You're right, Len. The acoustics in there were awesome. Everybody would sound good singing in there.
So when we were doing the ghost box session, it was kind of crazy because it was echoing and people were afraid to go in when we were doing the ghost box because there were a couple of people outside. No, that was the second time we went. That was the first time we went. We did go back another time. So we were doing a ghost box session the second time, and people were hearing that and they were afraid to go in because they were hearing the radio and the echoes. It was kind of funny. How long did so the second time I think we actually went back up the ladder. We got up pretty quick. First going down the first time, oh, I was going so slow because it was so sketchy. That second ladder was so rickety. It would literally
shaking.
it would start moving again away from the wall for every step that you took, and there was nothing at the bottom. It was a straight drop. So, and the bars are really thin metal bars. So they were kind of slippery. And I didn't wear the right shoes the first time I went. I was even surprised that I even went down.
Remember when we went to the Cabo State and we're on that trail? Parts of it were like this, like maybe this wide. So you're walking and it's giving way. The rocks are falling down.
Yeah,
it's a really unstable area.
That was a straight drop, at least a couple of 100 feet down to the side of the mountain. So that was kind of everything. Yeah, everything that we do is really so freaking sketchy. It's crazy.
It's so fun. We do have a good time.
We do have a good time and we laugh, and there's always a lot of cussing, and I'm sorry, but I even said I was going to cuss on this show just in case So Bear wanted to put it on his show. He's always beeping me out because I cuss so much. Yeah, sketchy stuff is always fun. But anyway. So Bear, tell people how they can find you.
You can find me at Creepy Crawl with So Bear on YouTube. I do have a Facebook page too. That's how you can find me.
Cool. Yeah, so once you finish up the video, I will post up I'll post it up on my channel also. I'll post it up on my Facebook channels. I'll post it up in the private group so people can watch it. Yeah, I know Deb went back and watched some of our videos. Thank you, Deb, for doing that. I just hate seeing myself on camera, especially being that heavy. But the new videos will be different. It'll be the whole new Rob on camera. Now won't be so embarrassed to be on camera. Before I hated being on camera, but now I don't care.
He'll be posing.
I know, I'll be posing now. Oh, but the one thing that was weird was the phone. When we were there standing doing the ghost box sessions, there at the borderline, I did talk about my phone. Remember when I took it out of my pocket?
That's right. That's right.
I took it out of my pocket and it was on the emergency call screen. And I showed it before. I mean, my phone's hard to the buttons because of the case that I'm using. It's really hard to press the buttons. They're almost like flush. So you actually have to like really press down. And the jeans that I wear, all my jeans are always loose. I never wear, even the pockets are so loose. And I always have my phone in my back pocket. So when I pulled out my phone, because I was going to take some pictures, I pulled out my phone and it was on, I'll pull it up right now. And you have to hold down these buttons for literally like 4 seconds for this to come up. So it was on this screen. I don't know if, So it was on this screen. So, and I've always, so it says emergency SOS or, yeah. And that's when we were doing the ghost box session. And the funny thing was, I think it said call 911. I think on the ghost box, I think it said call 911. And when I pulled out my phone and it said, and it was on that screen, and I was like, what are the freaking odds? It says call 911, and that's what my screen was on.
Yeah, that was really strange. I remember that.
So yeah, that was just, and that's why I was floored. It wasn't that my screen was on that, or my phone was on that screen. It was because before I ended the session, it said call 911. And so I ended the session, I pulled out my phone, and that's what the screen was on. It was
We
just
should have had your phone set on that when we went to that building in Los Angeles.
right. We got to go back to South Central. We got to find another building in South Central.
It shouldn't be hard.
But it has to be on fire. And
But
there,
yeah,
there has to
has
be
to
a
have
door.
that naked guy in the closet.
The naked guy. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Get out of my house!
I didn't hear what he said. I just freaking turned around and freaking basically
He
ran
was,
out.
he was actually leaning over that railing, yelling that.
Yeah, get out of my house. He has a
Thank you,
freaking
Amy. That was really nice of you to say. Thank you.
he
I
has
enjoyed being here.
a 12-story building, and that's his house.
All of it.
All of it. All of it's my house.
The only use is that closet.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny. But anyway, well, I'm going to end the show, guys. Thanks for watching. I know it's a little early, but hey, I have some fun stuff set up for Saturday, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you, the one and only Bear, the man, the myth,
Thanks for having me on, Rob.
the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bear.
In my own mind. Legend in my own mind.
That's what I was going to open up the show with, and I kind of botched it, so I just let it go. All right. Anyway, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.